I love children, and like many parents, I was concerned about the care that my daughter was going to receive in a daycare setting. I had many friends that were also concerned about this issue, and so the solution that I came up with was to open a home daycare center. Owning a home daycare center can be used to promote many things that many values that God has, and their teachings from the Bible. I opened a home daycare center in 2002 to address the concerns that I had and to help with my friends out who were also needing care for their children. And I owned that home daycare center from 2002 until 2007 when I moved to Athens, Georgia. While I was owning the home daycare center, I would care for approximately 5 to 10 children in my home at one time, ages from newborn to about 13 years old. I would care for the children, some children during the day, some children during the evenings, and some children I actually would care for overnight for parents that work third shift. I think it's important to point out a couple different points. First point I would like to make is that when you own a home daycare center, you need to ensure that you are checking with the state to follow their regulations that they have in place. There are multiple different things that the state wants to ensure to make sure that children are being cared for properly in their home, in homes. In particular, you want to make sure that you have the correct number of employees or adults inside the home to assist you, because depending on the amount of children is the amount of adults that are needed. And also another concern would be the fact that depending on the ages of the children as to how many adults are needed in the home. Those are things that in the state of Georgia, if you go to the Department of Early Care and Learning, they will be able to assist you. And in particular, if you look at the family home care regulations, if you also want to be aware of what those, like I said, what those state regulations are, and to check with your local state to make sure that you're following those regulations. Owning a home daycare can be great in promoting values and biblical principles that God values. The first two values I'd like to discuss would be the value of hospitality and the value of family. Family is an extremely important thing, and by owning a home daycare, you are able to be there for your children and be there for your family. In the Bible, it states that in Romans 12:13, share with the Lord's people who are in need, practice hospitality. If you are opening up your home to children and to their families, then you will be opening up your home and practicing hospitality. It is also stated in the Bible in Proverbs 22:6, start children off in the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. If you own a home daycare center, you're starting children off and you're teaching children at the beginning of their lives what biblical principles are, and they can hopefully carry those on throughout their lives. The other value that God has is the love of each other, and owning a home daycare center is something that extremely shows this. Owning a home daycare center, you are showing love for children and for their parents, usually. And owning the home daycare, you are giving children a method and a way of learning these values and principles. As stated in Hebrews 10:24, let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, which is something that is achieved by caring for these children. If you are starting off these children and showing them love, they will hopefully carry those on, like I stated earlier, throughout their life. I was hoping to show children love and godly values when I opened my home daycare center. As is stated in 1 John 3:18, dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. If you show these children love, not just sit there and talk to them, get down on the floor and play with them and show them what love is all about, they're able to hopefully carry these values on throughout their life. In conclusion, when you go and if you decide to open a home daycare center, ensure that you check with what the regulations are with the state, and also by owning a home daycare center, you're promoting 3 important values that God has. In particular, the value of family, the value of hospitality, and the value of love for each other. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this information has been helpful.